So, Bhante, you talked about the consciousness and also you're looking at something, it's 7 billion and you look away and you get another one, so it keeps on going. I hope you showed me to understand the continuation of the consciousness, even though there is none. Because there's no concept of memory in teaching. So,
what you mean in
because every time we get a new consciousness, that's great.
yeah, we are always having a consciousness through the 6 sense organs, and the memory is a part of it, comes with the mind consciousness. You understand?
I see.
So you
That's
get
what I suspected.
so you get an answer. Yeah, it comes with the mind consciousness.
Thank you.
It is a part of Sankara. You know, Sankara means the reaction part. That part is the part where the memory, that what we are calling memories happen. Recalling.
Right. Is there a karma playing a part in there as well? Or creating the consciousness, like every time you have a new one? So, of course, the karma plays a part in that. And, sorry, I lost my thoughts there.
It's called also karmic consciousness. The word given to consciousness is more descriptive one is called karmic consciousness, because karma is the one that drives it to have an object, have the organ intact, and then the connection to happen. Now in the same place, two people can have two different type of consciousness. So, and two different experiences: sadness one person and happiness another person. Consciousness is not easy to be understood immediately. It is an ongoing, but you may get a glimpse of it, and you can get an idea. And main idea is to get that it's like an illusion. It's not real. It's not something substantial. It's conditionally arising, and it just disappears to another consciousness based on the different conditions. Like for example, sorry, yeah.
The
Yes.
condition and that was what I was thinking, and I so that the karma and the condition is that too.
No, the conditions come from the past karma, how it has to come. For example, you have ear and the object.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you are to get a say you have been fighting in a war. Okay, and then you have to say, then the next life, for example, you are born and you have to where you are going to be. There's a war going on. So the experience you have given, then you're going to be in an area where you're going to get that kind of objects. Okay, it could be related to an office also, or a family situation. You understand? A family or an office or your working situation, or in your family complications, how things come, people come from somewhere. And I also had a letter today, somebody, like they're there. Then if you know that there's sometimes going back to 2-3 births of karma coming. So sometimes it's so complicated, you don't know how to. But then if you learn to, if you have this knowledge, you don't try to run away from that. You run away only if you can't control yourself. Like you're going to do some evil karma in that situation, then you make a physical change. Otherwise, you should stay there and change your attitude, change your way of looking at it. You understand? When you're doing that, then that karma gets, you're learning a lesson. Actually, the karma comes as a teaching you a lesson in nature. You understand? It's very precise, like a nature teacher.
So, sorry, I asked a question today, but with Samsaara, and birth and death, how does this all begin?
Okay. According to Buddha, there is no beginning. There's no beginning. He looked, he could see years and years and years in his Buddha eye, and he only saw that there's no beginning. It was going on for endless time, and he saw it was all created endless time. There was craving and ignorance, creating karma, and it going on feeding like that. So he also saw the future beings will just continue to go on. as long as there's craving. And so now if we make a change, he saw that we can, stop this, each individual.
Since time didn't arise, if it's always been there, it didn't arise. If it's going to always be here, then it didn't pass away. So if it didn't arise and it didn't pass away, does that mean that it's unconditioned?
Buddha was trying to see the facts that's happening. He put this sometimes the past, so endless past, but he saw that there was an endless past and the endless future. Endless means like this, like it will continue as long as these causes were there. And each being he saw, even they have gone to different existence, they have come back, but there's no real rising. But he also saw this can be stopped by this path that he created. So what he was interested is the suffering of the being. So now when he made a path that you don't feel the suffering even while living and will not create future suffering. So he equated this question, actually this idea, to like someone hit by an arrow, who has been hit by an arrow and someone comes to remove the arrow. And then he would ask this person, like what is this, what clan or whatever this thing. So Buddha says, is the surgeon or whoever comes, you remove this thing and then you get life first, something like this. So so the main concern is to purify our mind and see while we are living now. And then because we also can't, we believe in the Buddha, he's telling the truth, he's not lying. So he's telling, but we'll come to know. That's why from what he tells now and formulate, now somebody also asks these teachings, maybe somebody write or something in the past. How do you know? Even when Buddha was alive, how do you know he's the Buddha? It's not by seeing his body or anything. Someone follows his instruction and experiences that particular state that he wants you to experience, then you know he's the Buddha. Until then, you don't know by just simply, same way these words also, where these the recorded words of the Buddha, it's like a map, a treasure map. If you practice and go on, and then you find the treasure, then you know this is a real, authentic map. So it's same like that. So what we must think we are like in an ocean, huge, like a speck. So we try to really practice and put ourselves, anchored ourselves in this thing. Then we in this life also we will not be fearing death and normal realities of life, and then we might get to know other things also. I hope I didn't go on along this thing, and I hope I didn't tell your question is a useless question. Sorry? Did it? I'm sorry. Then my answer is useless. Take it that way. Okay.
No, the answer was better than the question.
I don't know. I'm maybe trying to escape your question. I'm not used to this question. I'm not used to meeting a lot of people, but anyway, I'm doing this. Yes,
So anyone who chooses the right time, in the Buddha's teachings, it said that nothing is permanent, everything is only temporary. But so how that work with time, because time, even before we started using time, it's still been there. We only started measuring it then, and it can never end, it can never start. So how does that comprehend?
So it's like you're related to this. It's like we can't escape this question, right? Actually, all measurements come with the body, okay, physical world, and consciousness, feelings, perceptions, and so on. And the measurements, it changes based on different dimensions. Okay, so normally without dimensions, Buddha talks about different levels of consciousness. Okay, so now there are worlds that are of which are like 1,000 years on earth is one day in those worlds. And like that you have weeks and months like that. So they have relative time going on. But basically time can be only happen in a body of material things and feelings and perceptions and consciousness. Okay, right? So what Buddha tries to show you is to go beyond time, to escape time. So he makes a path. Now I had a nice way, I was interested in theory of relativity. I don't know, that's how it brought me to Buddhism. First it was to theory of relativity, Einstein's. So in this theory of relativity, those days what I reasoned out was, because near the speed of light, the time slows down. Have you heard about this? It's a relativistic speed, the time slows down. So those days I was, very, okay, that is 9:08, so 8 o'clock, okay. Because we have, I think, 9 and the 1 more hour, we try to cover some of the things. So in theory of relativity, it shows that time can be stretched, can be this thing slowed down. So then I used to read my mother's books regarding, the King of Gods visiting the Buddha. In that visit, it tells 1,000 years on earth is one day there, and like there's such months and like that. In the higher worlds, 1 eon is 1 day there. 1 kalpa, 1 eon, such eons make, like so it goes vast, more up further. So this particular world system, I was thinking it is all gone from the mind. So it's a state of consciousness. So what I reasoned out was, if something goes faster than the speed of light, where does it go? According to mathematics, this thing, it goes back in time. So I thought that, equated that to memory. And then when I was a young boy, 14, 15, 16, but it brought me to the teachings. Then if you go more faster, you can speed up more when you get wisdom and intuition. So through intuition, you go to a point where time stops. Okay? Do you get that reasoning?
Yeah,
This is...
with this theory of relativity, when you're going at the speed of light, when time's slow, for everyone else it's still the same. So it's more of a matter of perception. And even if with the measurements, we measure time, but even after we stop measuring it, it's still there. It's just not exactly.
Yeah, it's like relative to each person, okay, and each being. So what we are interested is to remove our suffering. Okay, Buddha's main purpose is to remove our suffering, our state of what it is. So what he's trying to do is, we know that suffering comes from what is impermanent. So we are trying to go beyond what is impermanent. What we have created already as impermanent, we can't avoid that. So in the impermanence only we see time, in things that we created. So the time works for body, material things. That's why we have, like, we get a chance to measure. So the purpose of Buddha is to reach that particular, this thing within us. So he says that changing our perception. Your question, we stop there. Okay. Half past 9.
Hello. I have a question, mostly out of curiosity. So in the Dhamma, they discuss the disconnection between the mind and the body, but also the fact that through rebirth, the mind can travel from a human body to a non-human body, perhaps an animal or something else. I was curious about, is the ability to understand the Dhamma a quality of the human brain or the human mind? Because we know that if someone is reborn perhaps as a fish or something,
Yeah.
they might lose the ability to understand the Dhamma. Is the ability to understand the Dhamma and comprehend those at that level of cognitive function, is that a physical property that's defined by our body, or is there some other relevance to the mind?
So, a human mind, human being is the one who can have this possibility. Not any other animal. You could see now even the human being has to reduce his reptilian brain to sharpen his intuitive faculty. Even then only the possibility is given for him, but he can do that. But say an animal or any other creature is so occupied, so impulsive, it does not develop at all that particular other faculty. So it's normally called to Buddha, but it's receptive to vibration. There are stories where those creatures rose to higher existence simply by the vibration emanated by the saints. So that influence can be done, can be made, but on their own to go to enlightenment or something, it's not. It's not a thing. It's not a birth. Is that your question?
Yeah, somewhat. And following on from that, so if you are born as human, and perhaps you might lose the cognitive ability that we have, got hit in the head too hard or something, and the result.
You don't need to get hit. You don't need to be hit on your head. Just having the cell phone a lot now these days. You're hit.
But can that ability be lost to understand the Dhamma as a human? And
it could.
That does happen if you consider that body to now be below a human.
Sorry, repeat that last part.
If for some reason the body lost the ability to understand those things, would that be considered to be an existence or a birth below the human realm?
Again, reborn in the human birth. Again?
As in, if you're during your human lifetime, if something happens that you lose the ability to understand,
okay,
due to a physical event.
That part I don't.
Because what I asked at the beginning is that the ability to understand certain things is that quality of the human brain.
Okay.
And if something happened within our own lifetime to change that ability,
okay,
does that therefore mean that that individual has the capacity of mind of below what would be considered the human realm? I'm not sure if I'm explaining it very well.
If you come near me and explain, I will. Come near me, and then it will be easy for me. Without the mic, you can tell me then. No, you can come near and then. Yeah.
But so is that so if you
without the mic, without the mic, then I will. Yeah.
For example, if someone was to go into perhaps a coma.
Yeah, coma. Okay.
Lose that cognitive function that the rest of us have there, would that be considered that you're now existing in a body or a state of mind below the human realm?
Yeah, no. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Now his question is that, say you're in such a damaged state of mind or whatever, or inability, that whether he can be existing in a kind of a lower than a human plane while in that body, right? Okay. Sorry, I am a simple thing, but I think this is a very practical question you're asking, because some people personally may face or may be thinking about it. it's determined by his previous karma. We can't tell exactly that if he's such a, now there are great meditators, for example, who have stayed in coma for like 10 years. Ajahn Chah, I don't know whether you heard, one of the Thai meditators and all that. So, I would say that no, it's no. We can't say exactly his state of consciousness that's working, because even at a very minute level, the consciousness is so fine. At a level of mind, it is working. Even at the moment of, now say he dies, after that he will get an object, because normally when a moment of death, the last thing that can, like you are, like your eyes and all that will be this thing, but your mind, there you can get a thought. Even at a moment of accident or something, you will get a last maybe frightened thought or a shocked thought. So that becomes a thing, but karma will determine how he have to pay his, like the nature. We choose, how he has to go through, what he has done, because the accounts are nicely settled in nature. It's not, it's another topic if I'm going to explain. Even every deed we are doing is like recorded in, I don't know, you heard about Akashic records, but it's not exactly Akashic records. There is a certain this thing which accounts exactly, and then nicely it gives you some idea you will get by Edgar Cayce, Many Mansions. If you read that, you will get more answers for that. It's called regarding this karma and how it will operate. So you get an answer for that, okay? Okay.